Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jan. I'm here with Mr. Beer, Andrew, and Nathan. What's up, guys?
How's it going, boys?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Are we bearish today or not, Andrew?
Bearish.
Bearish. That's the key word here at our channel. But yeah, what are you seeing, man? It's a Easter week, so not a lot of trading happening, to be honest. Was it a lot of launches also? Usually there's every week a lot of launches, but I feel like this week has been very, very nothing really happens.
Yeah, it was a very slow week, I would say. Like, there wasn't really too many big events. Trump didn't really talk too much. There wasn't any big headlines to cause any panic. So we're really just stuck sideways, kind of ranging market right now. Feels like it's just kind of ranging to a slow grind lower, perhaps, but yeah, we'll see. I look at Bitcoin, for example. We're just been stuck in this kind of tight range here. We are in a short reload zone, so pretty much off of this range, off of this high and this low, we are in the zone of resistance. So that's why market's kind of been paused in this area. So ideally, we kind of W and double bottom out of it and break above these resistance. So these 38.2s. First stops were kind of a big kind of area of resistance, so we kind of failed against it a few times here already, and now we're in this local resistance area. So ideally we don't want to see this break lower. We don't want this coming in and confirming this double top, because when you get the M's, you usually get downward action. If we get W's, we go up. Momentum wise, there really isn't anything screaming as well. There's no oversold, overbuy, or divs or anything like that yet. We are starting to, we're more midpoint there actually. Here, there's no divs or anything quite yet either. So yeah, we're just kind of stuck in a sideways range here right now. So you got the top of your range, you got your bottom of the range, and we're just kind of gyrating here. So
question, I think last week we had a little bet here. We were betting what BTC price would be next Friday. I think I had 81. Nathan, what did you have? 84, 85?
I said 84,792.
You're pretty close, man. You're pretty close.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember what I said.
Watch the replay. Let's go back. Run it back.
Yeah. Andrew, what did you bet? Do you remember?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
All right. But I have a feeling, Nathan, you won the bet.
I mean, I could have told you that last week, bro.
So here we go. Yeah. If someone needs financial advice, it's just ping Nathan.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Not financial advice. What are we seeing on ETH? I've seen a lot of FUD, to be honest, that ETH Foundation. There's a lot of so basically what happened with ETH and ETH Foundation is that they had a lot of woke people inside of the foundation. They had a lot of problems what their real ethos is. So if someone has been watching the arguments here, their main arguments is that, hey, they should not watch the price, they should just let it run and so forth. But then again, if we are talking in crypto, price is the main thing that matters to a lot of people. And if price is moving all the time downwards, it's really hard to get builders on building on top of your chain. But yeah, it doesn't look great, to be honest. I don't know. Are we going to hold the 1,500 position? What do you guys think?
I don't know. It's looking kind of weak. I mean, we're in the reload zone. This is the kind of area of previous bottoms, so it should be trying to defend it. We had this potential double bottom trying to come in, and it's still technically, potential, right? If we can break above and get that, then, I'd be very confident that, okay, we should see a little bit of a rally. But as you can see, we're just kind of grinding slower and slower to the downside here. So we might have to come against these candle body lows. Maybe we have to do one more stab down before we can maybe pull back up. But if we're lucky this weekend, we can get a nice continued rally back up against this resistance level. As you can see, the 38.2 first stop is acting as quite a bit of a resistance off of this pretty much high, this low. So this is kind of like the range we're kind of in right now. We're in a tighter range than the smaller one right here. We're trying to break above here. It's a very critical level to break above. So obviously there's a lot of resistance right now. And yeah, I mean, momentum-wise, same thing as Bitcoin. We're just kind of like in the middle of zone. There's no like direction or leading to one direction right now. So I think we're just sideways right now, waiting for this double bottom to confirm. Once that does come in and confirm, we should get a bit of a pop and rally. But right now we're just sitting and waiting. Like, like when I look at the equities, it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm using the equities as kind of like the leading indicator of how crypto should move. And right now, equities have been kind of getting beat up as well. We're just kind of stuck in a sideways range. We had this nice double bottom breakout a couple weeks ago. And then now we're just kind of retesting and, again, just going sideways. So until like these start breaking back up higher to the upside, I don't really see crypto really pumping either as well. But now the market's closed on Monday. So we have 3 days for crypto to just kind of go nuts. So hopefully we'll see. I'm looking at the dominance charts. So Bitcoin dominance obviously is rising right now. The altcoin dominance has fallen off a bit, but it hasn't like broken to new lows quite yet. So we are still waiting for a nice little turn here. If that can come back up and get that nice W, same thing. If we can start getting some W's here, we can start to get a little bit more of like that alt rally again. But as of right now, I think like everything's just on pause. We're waiting for that ETH confirmation on the daily, waiting for the equities to come back to life. And then, until then, everything's just we're just sideways.
Got it. Yeah, I think always when there's a like longer weekend, there's no liquidity and almost no trading. At least like when I talk with institutions this week, they've been like, "Hey, I'm having my Easter holiday. Don't disturb me or anything else." So I think this is pretty normal. But yeah, like alts still look like shit.
Yeah, unfortunately, everything's still looking pretty wrecked. There are some alts that are kind of looking interesting to me, but it's a very tough bet because again, if ETH and Bitcoin can't perform here, then these things will probably just roll over again. But looking at stuff like Tau, for example, I do like this like double bottom that's trying to come in right now. It's within a reload zone as well, so it's almost like an inverse head and shoulder here as well. If you look, you got your left shoulder, you got your neck, right shoulder being built. But I do like that double bottom idea there. So if ETH can pick up here, then I do think these things could bottom, and then it's just a matter of finding ones that have that structure. So Ton is actually another one that I'm actually eyeing right now. So I like that we're in a reload zone off of this big range. And then on the smaller range, we're also in the same kind of reload zone. So we're in a double reload zone. And as you can see, we're trying to put in a double bottom here. So if that double bottom does confirm, pretty much on that neckline there, right here, I am considering adding a long there and then just risking against these lows here.
By the way, it's good to remember, Ton did a $400 million OTC, and those OTC guys, they have a 2 to 3 year vesting and cliff. So
3-year vesting.
Yeah, so I would think like Ton is in a very good place for a long-term play. Obviously, not the financial advice, but at least like they have the treasury, they have the users. They don't have the builders that much at the moment, which I'm seeing. Like it's very hard to do anything on Ton, but overall, like they do have the treasury, and I see that they will use that treasury at some point.
Yeah, honestly, it's I haven't seen too much like development on Ton either. It's been pretty quiet, I would say. But I mean, I like charts. You mean chart wise? If we can find structure, momentum, location, then setups are setups, right? So right now we got location, we got a little bit of structure trying to come in. Momentum wise, not overly the best, but this is kind of like a bull div technically. Would have been nice to got that oversold condition, but can't get everything perfect at the moment. So those are just two kind of alts that I'm looking at, Tau and Ton at the moment. And then obviously I have some swing trades that are live right now, but for the most part, things are kind of getting beat up.
Got it. Nathan, what's up on the news? I'm gonna put you on the show now.
Oh,
You've been quiet. I'm a little bit nervous what you found here.
the long, slow bleed continues. Oh man. Yeah. Continues to be a relatively quiet week. I was actually surprised that Bitcoin held so steady this week with the Fed announcement. Jerome Powell gave a speech, I believe it was Wednesday morning US time, Wednesday night here, and basically came out against the rumors that everyone has been talking about of hearing that the Fed's going to step in May to help support the markets. He came out and said the opposite. He said, no, we're worried about the tariffs causing long-term inflation. We're not going to come in and we're not going to step in and support the stock markets with rate cuts. We don't care that much about the stock markets, blah, blah, blah. I'm a dirty whore. But he basically just came in and went opposite of all the rumors that we've been hearing that the Fed was going to come in and save us in May. So my hopes for a rate cut in May have been quashed. However, the market didn't really respond much. I mean, we've been just ranging, sitting pretty steady at, mid 80s, low to mid 80s all week. So that was a bit of a surprise for me. What wasn't a surprise is after that speech, Trump coming out very adamantly saying, Jerome, you're getting shown the door here. Different names circulating around right now who he'd like him replaced with. But seems pretty apparent that if rate cuts don't come in May, Trump is going to do everything he can to get Jerome Powell out of there and get somebody else in.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if Powell is away, we probably get a rate cut, and that means the whole market is just gonna bounce, to be honest. But again, we are on an Easter weekend. Nothing is trading. Liquidity is waiting. I don't know, but like, I think if you go forward and you had some news about Binance getting like countries asking for managing their treasuries and so forth. I mean, if this is true, like we've been telling you guys in the show, like BTC, it's becoming more and more bullish. Like all this news about like rate cuts, or doesn't even matter if it's rate cut or not. It's like BTC is a very good asset to hold, and we are seeing more nations to hold it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Along those lines, I got a story somewhere here from Binance. Maybe. There we go. Yeah, Binance saying that multiple governments and sovereign wealth funds have approached them about creating crypto reserves. We've been talking for a couple of weeks now about the effect of the upcoming global war for Bitcoin, the global Bitcoin arms race. The U.S. currently in the lead, China in second. But China announced this week they're selling their crypto reserves. Obviously, the tariffs hitting them hard there. They've been selling some of their crypto off to obviously deal with that. But it seems more and more governments, we've known, people like El Salvador, Argentina, some other nation states have been, buying Bitcoin for a while. But if the U.S. comes out and announces, which their plan to buy Bitcoin, I think it kicks off this global Bitcoin arms race, and we see just a mad dash to get your hands on for these nation states and institutions to get their hands on Bitcoin. And with supply at nearly, I mean, I don't know if you've seen any charts recently of the Bitcoin supply, but it's down there. I don't know if it's all-time lows, but it's not a lot of supply out there. So we have big demand and no supply. I think we all know what happens to the price.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Andrew, any bearish news on this?
No, not really. I mean, isn't China the second largest holder of Bitcoin?
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, they're around 196,000, and they've apparently recently started selling during these tariff times that we were in.
Interesting. It'd be nice if we can find their wallets and track their selling obviously that's not a good thing. That's going to add a bit of a down pressure, but
Sure.
we'll see. We'll see how much they actually sell, right? Like,
Well, it
I
seems
think
to
it'd
be
be
like
cool.
other countries are buying, right? So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and we'll see how long that goes on. Also announced this week, or just within the last couple of days here, it sounds like China and the U.S. are getting closer to talks. China's made multiple statements now saying, here's kind of our stipulations for chats. Here's the U.S. coming back saying the same, but looks like they're getting closer and closer to a deal. Hopefully, these tariff scares holding down the markets don't last much longer. And as we mentioned just earlier, everything's lining up pretty nice for Bitcoin. It's bullish news after bullish news after bullish news. There's all kind of adoption going on. There's all kind of positive things on the regulatory front going on. More institutional buyers. We have U.S. states creating their own Bitcoin reserves, not just the federal government. It's setting up for a pretty beautiful Q3, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Like Andrew, you're usually talking about like, hey, sell in May and go away. What's your opinion here? Is that going to be
Yeah,
the case?
I think there's always the sell in May, like there's always that sell off. But I've been talking about the seasonality stuff. Like summer rally is what we've all been waiting for. It's what we've been eyeing. It's what we've been patiently waiting. Like I was talking about, like mid-May to June is probably where we should see some kind of reversal bottom. That's based on like the Jan barometer studies, based on tech sector seasonality stuff. Like, so I do feel like we are getting closer to that pivot, especially if the market keeps continuing to sideways here and like form these little kind of bottom structure. I think that's kind of presenting us a window for summer rally. So, and if this China deal does go through, I mean, that's obviously the big fucking thing that's hanging over us right now is this tariff stuff. So, once that's like dealt with, I feel like that should bring some confidence back into the market, and then we can kind of continue on. I think they're also considering rate cuts in May, perhaps. So I don't know.
That would be amazing. But like, how trustworthy is Trump at the moment? Like, he can say one day, "Hey, we're gonna do a deal," and then next day, "No, we're not gonna do a deal."
Yeah, not very trustworthy. He's gone back on his word a few times now. So
the rate cut in May, how confident are you guys of that? I was a lot more confident before Powell's speech on Wednesday.
Yeah, so definitely not confident at all anymore. Powell essentially was pretty bearish on Wednesday, and by the sounds of it, they're not in a rush to cut any rates. Mm-hmm. A couple of weeks ago, when we had like the bullish CPI print and all that, that was starting to get a little bit like, okay, inflation's coming down, things are looking a little bit better. But based on his speech Wednesday, it didn't sound too good for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
I don't know if it's an internal fight that they're fighting now in the politics or not.
It definitely is.
They're trying to fire him right now.
Yeah,
like crazy.
Although, I mean, it's going to be interesting if we get another CPI print. If we see inflation continue to come down next month, and I think Powell's going to have a hard time justifying coming out and saying again, no, we're not cutting rates. We're worried about X, Y, Z things. It just does. He's not going to have much of a leg to stand on at that point, and I think it'll be more than Trump calling for his head if he continues to stick with his narrative.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very skeptical about Trump at the moment.
Fair. Let the man do his work.
Yeah.
Well, another man that's not doing his work currently, talked about ETH struggling the last few years. ETH just seems to me to be one of those dinosaur assets that's seen its time. I know there's still a ton of infrastructure that's been built over ETH, and I think that's really the only thing keeping it alive is that it was the first. They used to have some, like you mentioned before, they kind of go woke, go broke. They've been the example of that in the crypto space here. They've got a founder who's obviously special in more than one way, but he's been too busy chasing tail and chasing balloons instead of getting actual work done and building something that's going to support our industry. So I don't know. I've another person I think needs to go is Vitalik. I think he serves his purpose. He serves his time. I mean, he seems like more of a mascot than anything at this point. I don't think he's helping the Ethereum network. Much like Jerome Powell, I think he needs to go the way of the dinosaurs, and they need to get somebody else in there, get some real leadership in to turn things around there. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hate for this guy. He's always doing some weird, cringy stuff, and people love just piling in on him. I think it's kind of stupid to think that like it's his responsibility to pump a chart. Like, that's like price manipulation, right? Like nobody wants to be caught doing that. Ohm just got caught doing that. And that didn't end very well. So like the fact that like people think it's up to him to pump a chart, I think that's a little bit dumb. Sure, it's his responsibility to make sure Ethereum is running and they're progressing with updates and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what he does these days. I feel like he's just on a side mission now, just like having fun and enjoying kind of what he's already built.
No, I agree.
It's his team that needs to like pick up the pace. But
I agree. I don't, it's not his responsibility to pump the chart, but if he's going to be put as the face of Ethereum, if he's going to be, the leader there, he's not he's not doing a good job there. And that definitely affects the price is the leadership behind the Ethereum entity, whether it's the new updates they put out. And we've had how many new upgrades to Ethereum in the last 3 years that have been absolute flops that have gone absolutely nowhere and done nothing to help improve the chain. We still have all the same problems. We still have no improvements to the network. And, meanwhile, all we see from Vitalik is him chasing some new girlfriend or playing with a robot dog or a balloon in an alleyway. And it's not real confidence inspiring that the Ethereum Foundation is going to get things turned around anytime soon.
No.
Yeah.
Are they still selling Ethereum too? Like the foundation's been dumping ETH.
Yeah, but I think the problem is, again, like in the foundation, you had old guys that been sitting there for 4 or 5 years, and their ethics is a little bit different from like what the new builders are doing. For example, Solana is very prominent about their price action. They support a lot of family offices. They work with a lot of family offices. They have a lot of VCs supporting them with this. I don't think ETH Foundation is doing that at the moment. Anyway, I have a hard stop today, so you guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah, short and sweet. Not a real busy news week anyways. Happy Easter weekend, everybody. And we'll catch you guys next week again.
Take care, guys.
Just remember, follow our YouTube channel, follow our Twitter, and please subscribe and join our Tier 5 channel. We'll have some new updates.
Hit that like and subscribe.
All your wildest dreams will come true.